Welcome to Sekuralaw Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of Sekuralaw. I'm here with...
Stephanie de la Millar.
Eduardo Borgard.
Okay, in this new episode, I was thinking to talk about a little bit about the question that normally the broker did to us is what do you prefer, to create a company to get a transaction, or it's gonna be through a trust or fideicomiso? So I think it could be a really good way to speak about that. A really good episode to talk about that, our point of view, and all related to that. Let's start it.
Should I? Thanks.
Yeah. Yes.
Look.
Let's put a
May I speak? Yes, I'm gonna speak.
Yes, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
No, the philosophical question.
Of course.
Company, trust.
This question, I always like to answer it in a way that I like to explain to the broker that every transaction that we have...
Wait.
Huh?
But let's try to that we're gonna speak with the client, because
Right.
At the end, of course, the broker is gonna hear this. You can hear it, but it's more for information. Not like the broker is gonna explain to this.
Should I explain it like I'm talking directly to the client?
Yes.
All right, got it. The first thing, to continue with that train of thought, is that I always explain to them that I will explain to the client that every transaction is tailor suit. We need to address every closing with its own particularities, right? So I like to ask the client whether if he's purchasing for retirement purposes, if he in the future wants to rent the property, if he's going to live here full-time or part-time, if he wants to open a business in the near future or purchase more property, because every fact or particular situation on that answer that I get from the client is going to give me the scan of what I'm going to tell them, because it is good and sometimes it's not that good. So we need to put it into a balance and look at the pros and cons and see which one fits better that particular closing.
Okay.
Right? For example, if the client wants to purchase because it's a small family, let's say a couple and 2 kids, and the kids are no longer kids, they are now grown-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are all going to use the house. So if they are planning to come here and invest, and right now or in a few months or in a year they plan to come down and live 100% here and become residents, well, that is the perfect situation for me to say to them that they need to do it through a trust, right? Because that's what they fit best. They are not going to work here. They already have their basic income in their own country, and they are going to...
But what is the difference about trust and fideicomiso?
Well, the difference is because they are very different legal approaches. One is through a contract with a bank, Mexican bank, that will only have the property of the unit through the bank. And the other is basically creating a new legal entity of Mexican nationality, even though they are foreign, and they will have to comply with all the requirements from the law and from the taxes, tax-wise, because that new entity has to declare taxes and pay taxes and have activities.
No, I got lost. No. I'm a very hard client, difficult
You're
client.
a hard client?
Yeah, no.
All right.
I didn't listen. No, it wasn't that. No. But the thing that I was, or the question was more directly why we established. We make the translation trust, but at the end it's fideicomiso. The real thing for the client is gonna be fideicomiso, but we explain them trust. Why is it different that we explain them trust, or we said trust instead of fideicomiso? Why?
because that's the most similar pattern that we can use for you to understand it, because you have it in your own country. The reality here is that it's a contract that you signed with the bank to administrate a single property. It does not mean that it has a bank account or that it can have the obligations to fulfill your payments. Like, I want you to pay my monthly car payment and all that. No, it's not like that.
Perfect.
But it's the most similar way for you to understand that it will administrate your property, and it doesn't mean that it will pay your property taxes and that it will just have it for you so you can own it.
Okay.
And have the possession.
Okay.
Right.
So the trust is different from the trust or fideicomiso. Okay, it's the same thing, but it's different from your title. It's gonna be in a different contract.
No, in our legal system, that act is done in a single deed. This means that in the same paper, you will create the trust and you will acquire the property of what you're purchasing. It's not going to be different legal steps.
There is not
everything
gonna be
to
different documents.
Exactly. It's going to
Okay.
be all joined in. In that document, you will find the creation of the trust and how the property is going to go into that trust.
Okay.
Right?
Any comments?
I think after Eduardo has been roasted by this
No.
client.
Roasted.
Yeah.
No, not too much.
Just a little bit. It can be worse. You know that for
No.
sure.
Bet that I know that.
But I think the first thing that a client has to bear in mind is we are in a different legal system. Canada and the States are very similar. They both come from the common law. We are in the Roman system of the law, so our rules, our structure of the government, it's completely different. We obviously have some parts where we share based on the modern times, but the tradition in our contracts is totally different. So creating a same trust that it's in the States or in Canada, it's kind of complicated because our legal system, it just doesn't adjust to that.
It's not at the end. It's not possible.
Kind of.
It
I mean,
looks
there is-
similar.
There is also administration trust that can be really, really similar.
Yeah.
The thing is that ones are very expensive.
Yeah.
Like super expensive. You don't want to deal with that ones. And because of our legal system works, the execution of these managing trust are really hard and complicated most of the times. I think we are kind of progressing in that field because of we have to. But at this moment, creating this kind of trust can be really, really complicated and also really expensive. So if you are creating a restricted zone trust, you have to understand that it's a unique figure that actually doesn't exist, as far as I know, in other legal system in the world. As far as I know, it doesn't exist in any other country. So that's why you can see that it's a unique tool that allows you to acquire the unit, not directly, but you will be the sole beneficiary of this trust. So it comes with all the rights regarding the property, but also with all the obligations of it. Your main obligation regarding the trust part is that you pay your annual trust fee, and that will be it. I think that is the thing that you were talking about in the beginning. Keep it simple. If you want to have a kind of simple activities here in Mexico, if you want to join in the economic system here, then we have to analyze which options we can offer.
Yeah. That normally when they are looking to, or when they made that question, it's more looking, for example, if they're gonna acquire 5 properties. Of course, that 5 properties not like I'm gonna live 1 month in this, another month in another. They are not looking for that. They are looking for an investment, get rents, and when they have a higher value, they can sell it. So I think they are looking something like that. And normally we recommend, or we recommend that after 3 properties, or maybe 3 properties, makes sense to acquire through a company. But why we recommend that?
Because that is the best way to help them in their cost of acquisition to start, because it will be much expensive if you create a trust for each one of the units that you purchase, because that's how it's intended. Against just creating one corporation and just acquiring each one, where you just have to pay the notary.
But
right?
sometimes they have a doubts because in as you said, the different system or the legal system that they have, they normally acquire one company for one property. Do you know why they are doing that?
No. I mean,
Why?
every
Why are you doing that?
No, the thing is that they are looking to do that because it's like the way that they protect the things, or their own personal things or assets. Because if someone sue them or sue the property, you know that in America they can sue you for everything.
Mhm.
So they cancel that LLC or that company, and that's it. No problem at all. We have to be aware of that. So when we explain to them that we can acquire with one company different property without any problem, like no one is gonna sue you or sue them if they fall down in the sand in the beach. Something like it's not like in America. So they have to be aware, because if we start saying, "Hey, you can acquire to a company and you can have 10 properties there," they're gonna say, "Oh my God, yeah, but what happened with my liabilities?" They are always worried about that, and I think it's our duty to tell them that it's not that risky, or they're not gonna have that liabilities like in America and Canada because of the legal system. But the other thing is good to have a company for a wide reason.
Yes, I mean, if you are planning to have a side businesses from rental property, definitely you can start creating your corporation and putting the assets on the belly, as you said, someday, and that will be really simple for you, as the main idea of all of this is to keep it simple and to help you to have the less task in legally speaking, and obviously having also legal certainty and safety, but keeping it simple. So that is the thing about having the corporation. It helps you to manage the two things: having the asset of the unit itself, plus all the other economic activities that you want to make through the corporation. Obviously, the corporation has to have some activities related. I mean,
Of course.
no, you cannot start or set up a corporation that it's managing rental properties, but also, I don't know, making any kind of, I don't know, educational.
Open a bar,
things.
for example.
Yeah, no, totally different. Yeah, exactly.
It's completely different businesses. So in that case, will be better to have one corporation for the bar and the other one to hold the properties. So also you avoid that any kind of problem could affect regarding the bar. For example, having a lawsuit from an employee to put in not in risk, but it definitely will affect the corporation's assets if you have a lawsuit from an employee.
Um, what?
find my cell phone that you confiscate. Now it's making noises. So
No?
I will, yeah.
Huh?
Sorry. Yeah.
You have a different approach. You have a different approach with that about the company and the trust or the corporation, the Mexican corporation. And I like that approach with the client, with a big house and they rent. And remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, I remember that
Okay.
one. Yes.
I think we can use. I'm thinking of that because I think we can use that approach because normally we recommend to use a corporation with 3 properties. But what happened with one a trust, with 2 a trust, and 3 exactly, and 3 directly corporation. Because it's already 3. So the numbers, the second property, are like in the limbo for us. But yeah, no, it's the thing that I was thinking. The idea that you have, or the approach that you have with the trust and the company or the corporation, the Mexican corporation, I think could be a really good idea in this scenario for the second property. You know what I'm trying to say or talking? You want to?
I think so.
Like to draw the line where we go towards the corporation or towards the trust for the second one, right?
Yes.
That's part of the basic like due diligence that we have to do towards the client to give them the best answer, because it's going to depend in several factors. For example, if their second home is going to be, well, if the second property that they want to purchase, it's a lot that they want to build and in the future use as a main residence or even sell, well, I will suggest to them that in that case, maybe they can do it depending through a trust or with a corporation. Because if they want to build, then it's better for them to get the corporation set up, get their bank account, get their invoices, and start deducting and playing with their numbers so they can deduct all the income, right?
All the expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To help their income tax in the future. But if they're going to buy a second unit because they just want to have some more property and maybe rent it once in a while, and in the future they're just gonna go, well, I think the best way is just get the trust set up, right?
That's the thing that I'm looking for. The thing is that when you acquire the second property, you acquire one, and you are doing great when you come 6 months, and the other 6 months you are renting, vacational rentals. And you are doing great, and you say, okay, let's do the second one. With the way that we think, or the way that we are normally recommend the client, when everything is like normal property, resale, yeah. So you're gonna say, okay, the second one, do a trust. But what happened when they have the second property, but for some reason, they have the lucky to have a really good property, and they rent it all the year. They start to having a lot of income. So it's not going to be very simple for them to explain where that income came when they have 2 properties in rental and they are earning a lot of money. And Steph get something that is really good. We can create a corporation, not put the assets of the corporation of that 2 properties into the corporation, but use the corporation as an administration for that 2 properties. And the one that is going to receive all the benefits is the corporation, and all deduction, all the expenses is the corporation without any property. So that could be another option that it could be really good. And we don't really use it too much,
No, I've seen that more when we had clients that wanted to purchase hotels.
Yeah.
Because there are clients that pursue that dream. And
to build an hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, build or even purchase it as it is. And usually those kind of due diligence go like, we have a corporation for the property, and then we have another corporation that administrates the hotel. That's where we have all the employees, all the income, all the contracts, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they usually acquire both to keep it functioning, right? We will do that, but with two hotel rooms, to say something, right? I think that could be good because they can also use that corporation even to pay their expenses. So
Yeah.
so they don't have to put any more money from their pockets because all the rentals go there, they pay the taxes there, and they even pay their living expenses from there and get also invoices since they're shareholders.
Exactly.
The thing is that sometimes they didn't get a really good
Management.
legal
Legal
Advice.
advice, and they go directly and they acquire the property. They acquire the property directly in a trust, and then the notary say, okay, but now that you have the corporation, put the property in the corporation. I think that is gonna be really expensive for
for
them.
them.
Not make sense, and the only person that is gonna earn money is the notary. So
Yes.
the best idea is that we create the corporation. Don't put the asset or the property in the corporation, but use the corporation as the administration of that.
Of course.
I think that could, because it was a question that they made yesterday.
I mean, the main thing for me is if I see the client that is not invested, that they don't want to get residency, they don't want to get a tax ID, they don't want to hire account. If they don't want to do any of that burden,
Exactly.
there's not even the point of mentioning it and putting on over the table. It's just if you just want to have a property and you just want to pay your property tax every year and your annual fee, keep it simple. Go through the trust.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
I have clients that are going to close next week. They are Canadian, and they are structuring their purchase as a financial move. I had a Zoom meeting with their accountant in Mexico, me and their accountant in Canada, and them, because they are going to use their Canadian corporation to own 98% of this Mexican corporation, and the other 2% is one for him and one for her, and they are going to get all the expenses here because they are going to rent, and they are going to be able to use their capital without being penalized or taxed directly because they are not cashing it out. Is the same business that is going to put the money into the Mexican one, and then when the money is overdue, they are going to return that money, right?
Yeah.
Without paying those taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So if the client is invested and wants
No,
to
it's
try
not that
this new
not
thing,
paying taxes,
exactly.
but it's a way
but
to
it's
do
a
it.
way to help them invest without being hurt financially.
Exactly,
that way,
exactly.
which that's the point, right? If it's that kind of client, for sure, the corporation is their best move.
That's good. Exactly.
Okay. Situation that I'm still thinking, and I don't want to know what you think about it, is when a client wants to buy 10 lots without construction and they want to develop only houses for families. What would you recommend in that case?
Corporation. Directly, I will say corporation directly because they're gonna develop, they're gonna sell it. If they're gonna rent it or use it, whatever, it's gonna be a corporation, because it's at some point it's too much things, and they're gonna make business with that. It's not like they are.
There's no way they are purchasing 10 lots just for the heck of it because
Yeah.
they
Maybe
wanna
they want a ranch.
maybe they wanna have control over who's gonna be their neighbors. They are going to purchase a whole community, and
The
then
landlords.
and then I wish to purchase that lot next to your house. Let me see. Are you single? Are you married? You have kids? Like what kind of person you are? So I say, okay, you're welcome into this community. There's crazy people like that, right? That want to manage everything.
Yeah, but I think they are. I don't know, but in that particular example, I will do corporation directly,
Definitely.
and that's it.
Yeah, because if they're purchasing lots, definitely they're gonna build something, right?
Yes.
And all those expenses and contracts and invoices, it's way more beneficial if they do it with a corporation and those invoices than if they do it by themselves. 100%.
Okay. Good to know.
Right? And the main difference is that since they are going to buy 10 lots, but at some point they're going to sell them, there is no point in doing it through a trust, because one upper side of the trust is that they can use the sales exemption tax for the first time. They have 10, right? They're just going to use it once, and they're going to have to pay for the nine others that maybe it's not going to be financially the optimal way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that as soon as they have the corporation and they do everything by the book, all the expenses that they have, and they have the invoice, it's not the simple ticket when they go to Home Depot and get the ticket after paid. No, you need to get the invoice, factura, or CFDI. As soon as you get that, all of that is going to be deductible 100%. And also, of course, they are not, the business from the beginning is not doing with money from here. They are bringing that money, they are lending the money
Overseas.
to the corporation, and that's the reason they have red numbers at the beginning of the corporation. They have to pay that debt. You know, that there is a lot of things that is a really good benefit for them in a corporation when they acquire a lot of lots, or 10 lots, 14 lots, 15, whatever. And and if they'll do everything by the book, it's gonna be really good when they sell. They're not gonna have problems. They have all the invoice to make deductions. It's gonna be great. Also, they have the benefit of IVA. Remember, when they are selling in residential, there is no IVA.
There's no IVA tax. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have
The VAT.
IVAs.
Value added
When they
tax.
pay all the services and all the things that they buy, they have IVA. So they can expend on more things. So it's something really, really
Yeah.
good. I prefer corporation.
Okay. Thank you.
Definitely.
Yes, and I think, I mean, and based on this client experience, I think that to have the best of both worlds, if you are coming as an investor to buy a unit, to put it out to rent and to use it on your own self, is to set up the trust, because with that you will get the capital gains exemption if you apply for residency. That it's really easy. It only takes time, but it's easy once that you have purchased a unit in Mexico, because you can credit to or prove to the authorities that you are coming to Mexico as investor. What it really matters for the immigration offices is that you are not coming looking for a job. If you are planning to make an investment, they will look at you differently, and that will open the door more easily to acquire the residency. And with the residency, you will be able to exempt capital gain taxes for a certain amount that increases every year. And if you want to control the rental income by yourself and have transparency, I'm not saying that some property managers are not transparent. Most of them deliver reports and everything on the income and the expenses. But if you are a control freak, no, a person that wants to manage your own business, it's valid. Or maybe you are a real estate agent in your country, you know about real estate and you want to manage it by yourself, then set up a Mexican corporation and get all the income there, pay all the expenses by your own, or hire an accountant to do it for you. Make your statements month by month about taxes, and at the end of the year, you might have a return of taxes being paid. That it's another benefit. You will get also a bank account here in Mexico to make any kind of payments. You kind of separate the liability regarding the unit and the employees that you have in Mexico, because all the liability regarding the employees will be relied on the Mexican corporation. So at the end, that is the way that I think that keep the best thing of both worlds. In this client experience, he found in this way the best way to manage by his own the all the rental business, hire employees, give them all the social security and things that the employees have to have without putting a lot of money and having a person that it's normally a CPA to keep the books in good shape. So, and I think we had another client, a very old one, not old in age, but old in
Yeah.
that also had an experience with a managing company, and he didn't like it, and he started to run the system by the rental income by himself, and he did it pretty well, no?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not for everyone
Yeah.
because there are some burdens that you need to carry if you open a corporation, because there you have now legal and tax obligations, and you have to be able to respond on behalf of that new corporation that is Mexican. So if you want to do it, if you want to get like a residency, get your tax ID, you can do it also on your own, but now you don't have like that layer of protection that the corporation brings you, right? So it depends on the type of client. It can be very beneficial if they really, their main focus is to get the property and start renting it out, right? But if they just want to live in it, Fideicomiso is the best way to go.
So let's try to do
Recap.
yeah, exactly, but in the opinion of each one, your first opinion, but you have to give your opinion in less than 45 seconds.
Less than 45 seconds. All right,
Challenge. Go.
let's go. Well, the Fideicomiso
44.
is
40.
the best way to go. If you want to purchase a property and you want to live it and you don't want to be messing around with the income and getting invoices and all that. If you do want to make even a small business out of it, then the corporation is the best way to go. If you want to acquire more, if you just want one, you can create the corporation for the administration purposes. As we said, it's going to be a constellation of factors that is going to give you the best answer at that moment.
Perfect. Now, Steph, it was only 30 seconds, so good. No, I didn't count.
I have to do it in less time.
Yeah. No, you have 45 seconds, 44,
Also.
43.
I think if you want a tailored suit to have the best way to handle your real estate investment in Mexico, you definitely have to come to Sekuralaw. And if you are a real estate agent and have many other questions regarding the pros and cons about the trust, as you can see, there is a lot of facts that could affect in the decision. Come with us, and I'm sure that we will find the way that you can solve every question that you have.
Awesome. That's great. And for me, let's keep it simple. If you're going to buy one property, it's going to be, we always recommend a trust. It's going to be 2 properties, could be both in a trust and maybe in the future a corporation. And if you're going to buy 3 properties or 3 houses or 3 condos, it's better that you go with a corporation. So that's it. That's our opinion. But as Stephanie said, please contact us if you have questions, anything. We are here to solve all that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.